Game number one, Boluo against KG. A lot to talk about even before we start. Infernal Shrines is map number one. Again, if you're tuning in to Gold League for the first time, we are currently, after we started originally with roughly 160 teams, we're down to the final 8, and those 8 are playing in a group stage around Robin system. And it's a double round robin system, which means that every single one of these teams plays 14 matches, and all of these matches are best of 2s. Yep, not best of 3s. They play 2 maps against each other, and that ranking is created outside of that. And the top 4 advance to a stepladder system bracket, to a gauntlet. So the higher up you are in the standings in those top 4, the less games you have to play to crown yourself champion of the Gold League tournament. The Swedes are playing against KG today, and well, Boluo finds themselves all the way at the bottom of the standing. And with their recent performance and also the bit of information that we're getting from them, it kind of seems that they have embraced the let's treat this as a vacation element of their trip to Asia, and don't really put in that much time into the practice these days. But I would be very happy if that intel is wrong and they're coming out swinging today against KG. Now, keep in mind, they have technically still a chance to actually make it into the top 4. But what has to happen for that is they kind of have to start crushing it here. And they have to more or less take down a lot of these top 4 teams and really show them what's what. So if Boluo can get a 2-0 today against KG, that would be a decent start. KG is not in the top 4. So this is a must-have win. But we said that a few times already about Boluo, and oftentimes they were either defeated with an 0-2 or they lost one map to opponents like OFD, which definitely did not help their cause by any means. So for them it's a bit of an adventure, obviously, being in Asia now for an extended period of time. But let's find out if today the focus is a little bit more of taking the series down. When it comes to the bans, we have Garrosh, Maiev, Anoop, and Ana banned out. So Zeratul is actually still up for the taking if one of the teams wants to go in it. And ooh, we have Medivh taken. Okay, Jane on the other side together with ETC. The cow with a lot more value these days in China. High priority actually on ETC. So we're going to see some beef on their end. And with a Medivh setup, that's actually not too shabby either. A little bit curious to see how that's gonna pan out for Boluo, because Medivh can be a massive game changer in these games, and they definitely have a lot of players on that lineup that has a lot of experience with that hero. Very likely that Shrimpy is going to jump onto it, and that can help you out if Jaina gets the burst damage in. Just to give one example, the Leyline as a setup alone is already fantastic. Bans now on Diablo to prevent Leyline into Apocalypse, and we have Sylvanas banned out as well. Boluo with a strong setup, but they still need an offlaner. They still need a main tank too. What is KG on the other hand putting in right now? Is any of the teams going to pick Zeratul, for example? Ooh, I like it. Deckard Kane, we talked about how Deckard is actually an option these days again because of the buffs to him, and obviously a lot of it centers still around his ability to solidify a position in a certain area through the potions, especially after 20, but even before that, and also controlling choke points, and that's what that's great for. And we have Ragnaros taken! Okay, the whoopster maybe on Ragnaros, and we see Stitches! It's a kidnap combo! Gorge, is it really Gorge? Are we going to see Gorge with a portal? We might. And Sulfuras versus the Wave. And Genji as the last pick, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1. Game number 1. We are heading into our first game between KG and Boluo. Still with a clan tag egg here. And yeah, we're in Infernal Shrines, and it's time to shine. But of course, once again, since this is Gold League, before we're heading into it, since some people still don't know, I still get complaints about this, especially on YouTube. And if you watch this on YouTube, again, drop a like on the video if you enjoy the commentary, and comments are always well received as well. Yeah, but since it is on YouTube and some people haven't caught up on that yet, if you are currently experiencing some frame drops or some lower frame issues, that's absolutely normal. It's unfortunately the baseline video that we are working with provided by the Chinese, so I'm not actually in the client myself for Gold League. This is taking place in China, and the organization is providing us with a clean feed that we can use for the commentating here, which also means that I don't have any control over observing or over the observer UI, so I won't be able to show you stacks. You have to rely on the Chinese observer for that. And yep, this is the only thing we can do. But we get a glimpse into the Chinese meta, so there's at least something. And we're also getting a quick look at that ETC kill right here. Boluo coming out with quite a bit of aggression here. Stitches with the hungry Stitches right there. Love that. Wooby in the off lane, indeed. So he is currently sitting on his Ragnaros. So we're gonna get that set up. And Gia is actually tanking this time. So they're switching roles again. Gia on the tank, and that allows Shrimpy to go for Medivh. So with the first kill that we already have early on in the game, that's definitely a good start for Boluo. My question is immediately, are we going to see Gorge? Obviously, on Infernal Shrines, if you go for, well, hold your horses. Ooh, that was a nice escape here by Lucky. You could call that a bit of a lucky Swift Strike right there. A moment later, and he might have been in trouble. But either way, Putrid Bile is, of course, for Stitches an absolutely fantastic talent to have on this particular map. We're back to business, but yeah, as I was about to say, so Putrid Bile is a fantastic talent to take on Infernal Shrines, but if you're going into combo with Medivh, it's always so tempting to just go for that quick Gorge and then go full-on Kidnap combo, meaning Stitches Gorge is a hero, Medivh provides a portal, you carry the target way back, and then get an isolation kill with stuns from Tyrande, potential Sulfura smash from Ragnaros. So there's definitely a lot to be said for a combo like this. The problem with it is, it's a little bit of a one-trick scenario where you're putting all your eggs in one basket. Doesn't mean that it doesn't work, but oftentimes teams want to be a little bit more flexible in the way that they are shaping up a game from a tactical perspective. So it's definitely not a given. But as I said before, Boluo at this point, as little birds have been telling us, seems to have more so accepted that the adventure in China is more turning into a vacation than anything else, and that they don't currently put as much time into scrimming as maybe originally was planned. So if that's true, and again, I'm not saying it is, it's just what we've heard from my sources there. But yeah, if that's true, then there's a good chance that they're just trying to play this also with a bit more of fun strategies and completely willing to accept a more one-trick approach to certain games, which can then definitely work for them, but is going to limit their flexibility depending on the game and the dynamic of the game here. But with this, we're going to have a look at the first fight on the Shrines for sure, and especially the second one is going to be interesting since that's the one where we will see the level 10s. But for now, let's see who claims Punisher #1 here. We're still having the camps collide at the top, and Ragnaros is making his way into the middle, so Uwe is going to help out here. Seeing Rag alone is actually great. I gotta be honest here, Sulfuros might be great for any kind of burst combo setup around the Tyrande stun, but I wouldn't hate it to actually see the Lava Wave. Because either way it's going to be a win for me. Either they're going to get value and it's going to be a great game, or they're going to lose with it and then I can make fun of Trixler again and just tell them that Lava Wave sucks. So it's a win-win situation for me. Talking about win-win, they're currently trying to win that first shrine, and with that they're going for the Molten Core on the side of Rag. Here comes the stuns again. Good shield already from Shrimpy. He needs to be careful. The baseline for him isn't done yet, and Shrimpy, oh, escapes with a portal. Shrimpy gets away with a portal and saves his baseline stacks. Nice. Genji, then again, went in a bit too deep as it turns out and drops here. But they get at least the Punisher. So they try to make the play for Urel here. There's absolutely no way for her to escape. But at least KG won the objective. So that is something. Yeah, another good stun. Lotus moving out of harm's way. It was a close call for him too, but he's able to escape. But obviously, now we're just seeing that, that Protector, sorry, the Punisher here, being attacked and bursted down, not really baited in just yet. Targets were a little bit close. Shrimpy is obviously providing vision with Medivh, making sure that there's no threat coming in from the side, no flank or anything like that. The Punisher still gets a little bit of value, but doesn't really get too much yet. But with this now said, we're having currently a level lead, and 3 kills, by the way, for Boluo. Portals are already being set up, and they're making the plays for the camps now. Obviously attempting to also add a bit more experience to that. A couple of picks that we're definitely not seeing any day here. Auto attack now for with a follow through for ETC. On the other side, We're having Stitcher still holding his own back. Keep in mind that, of course, his Hungry for More on level 1 is going to help him quite a bit if he attempts to get that massive hit point pool. And the more camps they take, the more globes he's going to get. And Gia can literally turn himself into a 9,000 hit point heavy monster in the late game, especially if they're able to win a couple of these Punishers and they're able to get the double globe right after. Now, oftentimes, we've talked a lot about the combo after level 10, but let's not forget that this is also a bit of old school style, where if 365 pays attention to the hooks that Stitches can throw out, there's a lot of potential hooks into stun setup. Ragnaros already on the move. Whoopi has to deal with Genji. It's actually not the only one, but it's portal time, baby! And nicely done by Schwimpy. It's an easy escape for Whoopi, or is it? Well, maybe it isn't. In comes Lucky, and typical Genji move right there. You are not that lucky. You might have been lucky before, but you're not that lucky. I'm really, really sorry. But yeah, that was a Genji death if I've ever seen one. I mean, we've all had that guy in our team and against us. That's totally willing to YOLO for a kill there, and fully knows from the get-go that he's not gonna make it. But yeah, calling worth there. It's Sulfuras. It is Sulfuras. Again, Whoopi confirming that Lava Wave just sucks. So he goes into Sulfura Smash instead. Someone make sure to tell Tim. And there's the ley line. Ah, it's Putric Bile. And we're seeing also the Meme Strike. Alright, little strike taken here on Hanzo. But I gotta admit, I was so hoping for a Kidnap combo. I gotta admit, again, it makes sense. I absolutely admit that it makes sense to go for Putric Bile right there. It is a fantastic map for it. It is the better heroic ability. But again, Gorge Portal. I would have loved to see that. Either way, we're now having, of course, a Meme Strike value potentially on the Shrine. I mean, let's face it, you can get a bit out of that, but arrows obviously are quite strong. But we have actually seen that before. And Boluo have played around their talent a bit more. And if you have a fight where everybody clusters up, you can definitely drop that there and hope for the best. Obviously, with Meme Strike, one of the hopes is that your opponent is having such a laugh flash once that they see it, that someone is just not able to control their hero anymore because they are just laughing so hard that they can't control the mouse anymore. And if that happens, then the rest of your team can get a kill afterwards. So that's one of the thought processes, picking that talent. It's one of the best shots that you have there. So the surprise factor is really something that comes through with that. And yeah, that obviously, I feel, again, I talked about this the other day, I feel like I have to actually mark my jokes these days, because a lot of people come in and say like, I don't think he understands the value of this. They didn't pick it because they thought the opponent would laugh about it. They picked it because it does damage. So yeah. Oh, that did damage! Get wrecked! Oh, Jaina gets immediately hooked, stunned, and then Sulfuras. Alright, baby, that was that. That was a very quick win for Boluo here. An instant double kill. Not giving them a chance at all. Full pork combo right there. And that's 6 kills against 1 now with a massive lead in the first Punisher for Boluo. Nicely done. Honestly, that was a perfect combo there. That was brutal. Love it. Chia with a hook. Then the quick stun. And Sulfuras. Lot of trust here also in the connection. Yep, that's what they had there immediately. So nicely done. And look at that, Boluo is actually starting to rock it. Now, with Boluo, these days, I am very skeptical. Everybody, I think, that follows the path of the Swedes in China and Taiwan has currently still a little bit of a flashback and remembers Volskaya Foundry against OFD. That was also a map where it looked in the early and the mid game like Boluo would win this no matter what, and it very quickly turned against them in the last and final fight where they should have won that easily. So despite the fact that they're currently rocking it, lol, the question is just simply, can they carry it through the late game and really reach the hopefully inevitable conclusion in their favor? So far we're actually having the Punisher defended against, but the wall is fallen. There's damage also on the keep, and yeah, nice second one. There's actually a lot of value considering that this was only the second Punisher that we're talking about. You get the entire fort, you get the wall, and you get damage onto the keep. I mean, hardcore worth right there. So now the passive experience is obviously increasing in their favor too. And with this, we're now having Whoopi and his boys going for the camps again, solidifying that lead and experience that they have. Obviously, with Tyrande being in the mix, the constant vision that you get through her and the owls that she sends cross-map is also extremely beneficial for the team. Can still make the play for the bottom Khazra camp. Gia still looking for the additional hold. Vision is provided by Shwimpy, who has, by the way, I think not there's the baseline. Okay, nice. I was actually wondering if I missed it, but yeah, I couldn't remember seeing that being completed. But yep, there we have it. So Shwimpy can now finally die. Maybe we're getting at some point an indication of where the quest talents are right now. Unfortunately, our Chinese observer hasn't shown that since the beginning. But I would like to know where Stitches currently stands in terms of extra hit points that he gets. I mean, for every... It's not only about the movement speed that he gains through the level 1 talent, but it's honestly about the damage. Oh, talking also damage. Looks like we might have a problem for Urel on our hands. Well, does she have a hook again? Could try and go for Jaina here. Lornado has already been used. The hook comes out, but it does not connect. And now they go for ETC. Lotus on the move back again, but also a good setup from Deckard Cain. It's party time, baby! Yeah, that mosh pit got some value, and the arrow does not get the kill, but Stitches damage over time does. And the slam kill against Genji. Double kill by Gia. And we're having Urel also eliminated. Have they finally solved their tank problem? Has that actually happened? Down goes Jaina. And so far, Gia is actually looking good at the front line here. 4 kills taken by Boluo, 10 kills against 1. They are on 16 in just a moment. And this is pretty solid performance up to this point. Well, another hook, another kill. This time Deckard Cain is down. Tomorrow's headline in news is going to be 4 Swedes bully old Chinese man. But Deckard Cain dead, and that is very likely going to seal the fate of the fort here as well. Oh, where's the stacks? 39! 39, so that means that we're having roughly 1,200 extra hit points already for Stitches. It's actually pretty respectable. 12 minutes into the game? That is honestly pretty good. Whoopi at the top is not going to make it in this case. He got ganked quickly. But with Gia actually getting this many stacks this early, guys, if this game goes into a late game scenario, he's going to walk around with 9,000-10,000 HP. Easily. Like, 39 at this point, 12 minutes in, is extremely good. So he's been doing a great job with this. And at some point, Stitches, I don't want to say he becomes unkillable, but he becomes a huge obstacle where it's very difficult because you have to make the choice. Can we burn him down somehow, or do we just have to ignore him? And ignoring a tank is usually something that hurts a lot. So we'll see how that actually happens for them. But again, let's check out if they can get a bit more. If they win another Protector, sorry, another Punisher, they obviously get the double as well. Nice escape here with the portal. But once again, the position taken for KG as they're attempting to take the lead. Molten Core should be up, and Ragnaros is making his way over to the shrine. There's an Arcane Punisher as well, so you kind of want to win this one. And yep, there we have again the slide. Lotus is there. Whoopi is moving in too. Drops the AoE there slowly and steadily. Alright, the ley line hits 2. They're trying to make the play. And nice escape. Well played here. Again, the mosh, but only against Stitches, and he doesn't have a problem at all. On the other hand, it looks like Urel has a big problem. She's not the only one. Urel down, and so is Genji. Quest completed for ETC. That helps a little bit, but it doesn't help enough. He falls 2, and that is another 3 kills. That's another set of globes for Stitches, and we're talking about 14 kills against 2 right now, with Boluo just going absolutely face. Top lane value, on the other hand, for KG, as their camp is about to take down the fort, so at least they get something out of this. But obviously this push at the bottom of the map is now designed to take that keep, at least. And they're going for that, trying to take that down, and the Arcane Punisher is absolutely brutal. Yeah, already getting the hits in. Arcane Sentry's on play. That one is down. It's a 5 versus 5 now. 16 is something that KG definitely wants. Haven't found it just yet. Waiting for the experience to drop into their hands. But again, 70% on the Punisher. There's a chance they can end here. 16 versus 16. It's going to be a slow approach, but if they get a kill, they will definitely go for it. And again, Stitches has a hit point pool that is absolutely crazy for now. With Gia, he should probably sit at 50 right now. There's another 1,500 hit points for him. Well, they burn that down. Keep in mind, still early in the game, only 15 minutes in. But the core is already starting to drop HP. They're taking down the Punisher. And can they take the core? At this point, you have flashbacks, obviously, and they are already retreating. They're not throwing here. They're making... At this point, Boluo is reminded of the Volskaya game. They're just saying, guys, let's not throw. Let's just make a coordinated retreat and take it from there. And they get the kill against Jaina. And they get the kill against Urel. And now all of a sudden, they can turn it around and finish what they started here. Whoopi, the hook does actually not connect. Whoopi is trying to get some extra damage in against Lucky. Here comes ETC once more. He does have the mosh pit up, but that doesn't help him either. They're going for Lotus. He drops, and that is the Swedes winning game 1. That has to be it. 17 kills against 2. There's a Stitches kill together with Hanzo, and they're dropping the core 3 levels ahead, 18 kills against 2. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is game number 1 as Boluo takes the lead in the best of 2 against KG. Alright, game number 2. Boluo, what's happening? The boys are back? Did they fix their tank problem? Gia killing it, the rest of the team killing it too, and most importantly of all, they didn't throw at the end. Amazing. Boluo with the lead. Cursed Hollow, game number 2. So big question now. Let's see what the conclusion is. Is Boluo actually going to win a series for the first time in Gold League and get a 2-0 victory? That would be quite something. But as it stands, KG is on rank 6, so I don't want to hype this up too much, but it would of course be great for Boluo if they get a win here. Again, technically they're not out yet. They're obviously in a really rough spot at the end or the bottom of the standings, but maybe there is a little bit of luck and they can make it into 4th spot or something. We're gonna watch their journey for sure. As it stands right now, we actually have Anubarak banned out, Garrosh is banned out too, with this being... I mean, this is honestly a bit weird for me because this is Cursed Hollow. And it is Boluo's choice. And I'm at this point just asking myself, are they going to go for something wild again? We've seen them with Valera. We could see Vikings at some point. They played Samuro a couple of times here. So I could totally see them go for something completely wild. Then again, in all fairness, they also played a couple of matches on this map where they just went for absolute standard drafts. But either way, be it as it may be, we have now Maiev banned out, and our next ban on the side of Boluo is Dehaka, so already eliminating a global. And I talked about something earlier that the Chinese don't do. They do not pick their Abathar. Or at least I haven't really seen them prioritize Abathar in any meaningful way. And Europeans usually do that. I mean, Europe is literally the region where Abathar reigns supreme and reigns supreme for a long time. There's the Ana pick, and now Boluo. Is it going to be a slug, or isn't it? I mean, honestly, I feel like against the Chinese team you can get away with picking Abathar late if you want to. But on Cursed Hollow, not banning Abathar? When have you seen that the last time in Division S? I mean, when Curse is played, Abathar is usually one of the first victims in the draft. There's Samuro, and if you pick Abathar right now, you can... I mean, honestly, if they pick Abathar later, Samuro plus Abathar is a combo that has been played on Sky Temple quite a bit, and the advantage of it is you can pretty much take down any structure on the map within seconds. It's insane. It's honestly insane. Get the copy in, and they go immediately for Samuro again. And that's exactly what I said earlier. I mean, they played Samuro in the past year. With Shrimpy, we've seen a lot of Samuro on Volskaya. Sorry, on... Sky Temple, on Altars of Doom. Towers of Doom, there we go. And we have a Tirana in the mix with that too. But I can definitely still see that Abathar being picked later on. I mean, obviously you now have false dad in the game. You're not my real dad. Every single time we're going for the false dad, real dad thing, do you guys know the meme with the cat on the table? You're not my real mom. It's like one of my favorites. Lolcats are amazing. I love lolcats. I mean, who doesn't love lolcats? It's a bit old school, I agree, but still lolcats are the shit. And yeah, there's a Zeratul ban. Does KG... Ah, they banned the slug. You know fun. You know fun. Come on, KG. Was that really necessary? Couldn't you allow us to have a little bit of fun and hope here? They banned the slug out. Orphea gets played. Alright. And Tyrael. I like the Tyrael pick. I mean, obviously, it is cursed, so Tyrael was always great here. Sanctification on the boss fight is fantastic, and so is if you are... Ooh, Illidan. And Li Ming as well. So is a Holy Ground, if you want to go into that play instead of the jump around. But yeah, Illidan is in. Alright, they're getting aggressive. Hunt and Falstad potentially, so potentially a double global here. And the last pick for Boluo is Sylvanas. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 2, Cursed Hollow. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. The Swedes are in the lead and they want to make this a 2-0 victory. Whoopi on Samuro. Gia again at the front line. Shrimpy finds himself on Sylvanas this time. And Poik is playing off here. And again, I got corrected after the draft. I said this could potentially be a double global. It could be a triple global. I kind of neglected ETC there for a second. We could see that stage dive. So, yep, let's see how this is going to end up. Are we going to have the Swedes succeed, or will this end with another fun moment where the Swedes get taken down by their opponents in the last fight, as we've seen so often right now? I mean, either way, for the time being, it's that Illidan that we have to keep our eyes on, and the Samuro, to be honest with you. Samuro in particular is going to try and dominate, of course, the macro aspect of the map from the perspective of Boluo. That's going to be important. And yeah, let's see. Every single time when you cast a team that's like consistent of one whole nation, is always like a little bit tempting to put a few words out that you know in that language, and especially when it's Swedish, it's a little bit weird for me, because as you might know, I was pretty close with the Fnatic boys, kind of still am. But these guys, I mean, what they teach you is always a little bit weird. And when the only thing that you know in Sweden is Jävla Opa, Sluta Pilla Bruten, then you don't know if you should mention that in a cast or not. But I guess at this point it's already too late, so oops, my apologies. So we have the Wingman build for Falstad, so we're going to see that attempt at camp control, especially, of course, if you can bribe that Bruiser camp on the other side. It's kind of amazing. But already a bit of power here at the bottom of the map, where Whoopi is dealing with Falstad. The camps are taken early on. That's where, of course, Sylvanas is also starting to help out. And with the same time, top lane, where we have Orphea. With Orphea, I'm always looking at, is there somebody here that can really set that stun setup up so that he can go... I mean, Eternal Feast is not something we're seeing too often. But that would be the dream, obviously. If you have like a mosh pit into an Eternal Feast, it's like, whew, give me more of that. But then at the same time, it's more about the crushing jaws, and there's a chance that we're going to get that to see. But yeah, either way. With level 4 coming up, we're also going to see the first tribute spawn on the map pretty soon. There's the Bruiser camp now taken on the side of KG, so they're going to attempt to have the easy defense at their own turrets, and then turn the pressure onto Boluo as the objective is on the map. But again, it's about the Siege Giants right now. And that's mainly because the Tribute spawns topside. So Boluo knows now that they are in a position where the Tribute spawns as far away from the bot lane as it can. And therefore, if you get those Siege Giants, you force your opponent to either commit to the Tribute and potentially lose some structures at the bottom of the map, or simply keep a hero around at the bot lane, and then you have an easier time winning the first objective. Now, obviously, there's Falstad to consider. With the global that he has, he is diminishing that advantage by quite a bit, but it still plays a role. I mean, we're talking about globals, but still, the Fly has a range, so it kind of matters, especially if you can keep him down there for a little bit longer. And we could even see just Samuro sitting around there and saying, like, wait, I'm just going to defend our Siege Giants, and you play a 4 versus 4 topside. So, Tribute is spawning up, and it's time to slowly go for that. Poik with the mobility here on Coffin Girl. And, yep, there is still Samuro at the bot lane, and Lucky is starting to take a couple of hits here. And it doesn't really seem like he has the cooldown up on his fountain either, so this could be a successful push for Boluo, depending on how long that Tribute is stalled out. Falstad is still getting damage, by the way. He's nearly dead. Falstad is getting wrecked here nearly. We don't have it on screen, but with Shrimpy moving down, they're just absolutely shredding through this. So Boluo's objective at the top lane is not to win this thing. Boluo is only trying to delay it for as long as they can. I mean, just look at Lucky. He's getting completely murdered here. And with the help of Shrimpy Sylvanas, they're pushing through that easily. And now we're even having a rotation. Illidan has moved into the mid lane to try and get some value himself, but down here it's Sylvanas' time, and she is getting mad value out of this. Nobody's even going for the tribute since KG has absolutely realized what's happening there, and is giving it up for the time being. Shrimpy moving away, letting this one go, actually turning it around and trying to get the kill. That's not going to happen, but he at least gets a few more stacks. Shrimpy goes down, but at the top, Tribute probably going to get channeled by KG right now. Not sure if they have another interrupt there, and it turns out they don't. But we're having Illidan fall. A kill for a kill and a fort for a Tribute. Boluo getting out of this one with a pretty good setup. So, yep, with this, we're having, once again, level 7 talent, Celestial Attunement taken in, the wave for Shrimp Master, Swift Retribution for Tyrael in this case, and Wooby is still murdering the bot lane. I mean, Lucky is currently sitting at this, looking at the screen and saying, I hate this shit, because every time he thinks he's safe, there's another Samuro popping up around the corner and giving him the blade to the face. ETC has gone into Echo Paddle. There's definitely an option for him to go into Stage Dive now. He has the wave clear. That is oftentimes needed to get the full value out of it. Especially since I still expect Illidan to go Metamorphosis. Let's be honest here for a second. If you're going into that setup, especially with Samuras on the other side, you want to have Metamorphosis for those team fights. Obviously, you have Globals already, so why would you need to go for that? But there is definitely pressure on the map right now. And when we know, like, if you know one thing about a Samuro setup, is that it's really good to take those structures down if you have a good Samuro player that can manage the macro aspect of the hero. So already we're having the Swedes trying to go for level 10 since they are ahead in experience, but it's also about securing a good position for the Tribute. If KG goes for this one, they have to go early and they have to really force it, but they're not. They're aware that this can be stalled out until 10 is ready for Boluo, so they're just sitting tight and saying, alright, whatever, let's give them this one. It's totally fine. So they're gonna take this one too. And now we're level 10. The question, how much can Boluo do with that? Are they going to go for boss? We already have a rotation from KG to the bottom end of the map, so they're likely to just go for boss. But there is always the Sylvanas factor. And that shouldn't be disregarded. The sliders, the jaws are taken. We're having Sylvanas with the arrow, Sanctification, and Wooby. There is not going to be a Blade Storm here. I don't believe that for a second, my friend. So Shrimpy gets another camp, but yeah, nobody is actually aiming for the boss here. The lead is not big enough. And now the big question, what are the globals going to be? Are we going to see that stage dive? There's already the scout coming out. And Eye of Horus. Eye of Horus taken. And we have actually the hunt. They're honestly going for the hunt. And now the big question is going to be full global Hinterland Blast on Falstad. Hunt into Hinterland Blast. We've seen that combo a few times. And they actually went Blade Storm. Holy shit, Whoopi. What? He went into Blade Storm. Oh my god. This got wild quickly. Yep, stage dive, hunt, full global setup for KG. And they now also have Hinterland Blast after any kind of setup with a hunt. It's a little bit similar to Judgment Hinterland Blast from the good old days. It's not quite as powerful from a stun perspective. But, oh, nice damage against Lotus. Chia! Ooh-hoo-hoo. And there they go. They get the kill against ETC. But yeah, Whoopi goes for Blade Storm. Now, that's wild. That's honestly wild. The last time I've seen Blade Storm taken was on Volskaya Foundry by Tempo Storm when they played their match at BlizzCon, and honestly that series back then was a bit of a disgrace to an extent where even some of the Tempo Storm players, when I talked to them, said like, I have no idea what happened there, which is a little bit of a weird thing to hear after a team played. But yeah, so that was obviously a lot more going on there than only the Blade Storm, but that was the last time that I actually saw the talent. And most of the Tempo Storm players weren't happy with that particular talent choice either. In this case, Whoopi is just saying, well, let's go damage, baby. And also we're going... What? The hunt and the kill against Tyrande. Yep, there's the setup right there. And that's the big problem with this lineup if you have a Tyrande that can't protect herself. But down goes Illidan and ETC as well. But as I said before, that's the combo. You hunt the target and you go for the Hinterland Blast. I was just heavily confused because it was literally a third of a screen hunt. I didn't even see that Falstad was this close. Talking about Falstad, the bird is about to be taken down. What's better than beef? Beef and chicken. You get ETC, you get the bird, and that's a full meal right there. Ana goes down too, and that is just an onslaught against them right now. Boluo, they have to go for the tribute down here on the other hand. They have to make sure that they're grabbing this one, because despite the fact that they're heavily ahead in kills and experience, they lost 2 tributes, and that would be a curse against them, and you kind of don't want to run into that. So, yeah, with that said, still an attempt to go for the boss. Lucky is already flying in. Okay. Are they gonna get the bottom? Or are they? I think they are. Yeah, they are. And nobody is going for it at the top. There comes the arrow, the owl. Are they going for the fight? Blade Storm value, baby! And yeah, Sanctification is up too. That's where you want to fight if you have Sanctification. Tyrell is already jumping in. There's the Blade Storm, there's the Sanct, and there's the boss. And they say, thank you very much. ETC. Ah, come on. Like, he actually jumps onto the same spot. He could have escaped. He honestly could have escaped here. You just have to stage dive somewhere else. And now we have the bird attacked again. Apparently Boluo liked that little meal that they had a few minutes ago, and they're going for another beef and chicken combo. But this time Lucky actually escapes. The boss goes in though, and so does Sylvanas now. They're trying to get the first keep of the game right here. Starting to move in, and this looks like the keep is definitely going to fall. There's a disable already, and might not last too long, but it's long enough to help the boss do his thing. Here comes the hunt again, but this time was a little bit too early. I mean, you can't just hunt without the follow-up, my friend. I mean, you can, but don't expect it to actually do anything. So, yeah, while Illidan is going for the little Superman move right there, we're seeing the keep fall, and on the retreat, they're moving into the middle to drop another fort here. Boluo is currently on fire. I mean, the boys are starting to get some serious value here in these games. This is looking more and more like we might actually experience a 2-0 in their favor, not against them. No. Sorry for a misunderstanding here. I should have clarified. Yeah, a 2-0 for them. Is that going to bring them back onto the path? Is that what's going to happen there? I mean, we'll actually find that out soon enough, but I would not mind if Boluo would actually make a play for the top 4 in the group stage. I mean, I'm gonna be absolutely honest with you, when Boluo started to play in the final group stage, it honestly became a little bit embarrassing at some point. And I, again, can understand that at some point you're just saying, okay, let's just enjoy our time in Asia. Don't use our entire time here just for scrimming, but actually experience the country a little bit, travel a little bit to other countries that are close. I mean, you can make a quick trip to Japan, for example. So there's a lot of good arguments in that favor. But watching them over the past few weeks was rough. I can't imagine how it was for the Swedes, but it's just the little bit of European pride that you have there, where you want them to represent the region. That was already hurting. If you're then Swedish as well, it was probably not a lot of fun watching them there. But this is actually looking a lot better right now. And of course, we have to take this with a grain of salt. Ooh, Li Ming. Yeah, there's the Blade Storm value right there. We have to take it with a bit of a grain of salt, since KG is they're not standing at the number 1 of the standings, right? They are currently placed 6th. But still, Boluo is on 8th place, and we're finally about to get a 2-0 victory, or at least we might. As the kill against Anna, Hinterland Blast comes in, 365 on his Tyrande, saving himself now too. And they're starting to jump in again. Whoopi is already at the top, pressuring another keep, and they're all over the place. They're trying to just drop as many of those as they can right now, and the keep in the mid lane at least should fall. Whoopster is opening up the wall top lane, and with him also getting all the experience from the minions, they're getting farther and farther ahead in XP, and it also means that the fort at the top lane is falling too, because the minions themselves are taking it down. So now we have a 3-level advantage, 10 kills against 8, full zoning here on the bottom, and the keep in the mid lane has fallen. The keep down, the curse live for another 10 seconds. The fort at the top has also been eliminated. There's a big bad wave now coming through the top lane, but they are actually lingering around in the middle now, trying to see if they can maybe get a kill or two and translate that into an immediate victory. Not quite sure if we're there yet, but if they can keep heroes away from the top lane, that would also be a big win, because there's minions pushing into the towers right now, and every single minion that falls denies experience to KG. But now we have the rotation towards the boss. Sanctification is up, Wailing Arrow is up, you have the Jaws as well. I mean, literally everything from a talent perspective screams, this is our fight. I mean, this is a dream fight for Boluo. Look at the talents that they have on level 10. KG sees this, but they still don't have level 16. And honestly, how do you kill something there outside of that little combo? There's the Sanctification, and that saves Tyrande. And all of a sudden, Illidan is on the run, and you can run, but you can't hide. He falls. Lucky is a little bit low. The right side is also about to be eliminated, especially since Shiv on his Li Ming is already about to fall, and ETC is dying too. The Hinterland Blast does quite some damage, but it doesn't do enough to get them a kill. And now we're having the lanes pushed again. Boluo is homing in on the boss once more. There are 13 kills against 2 right now, and that is just looking fantastic for them at this point. So that was pretty nice. And another kill The Whoopstar showing how to play the Blade Storm there. He's like, macro game? Are you kidding me? I do more damage this way. And he's doing well. Kudos. I mean, hats off. He did really well so far this entire game. And they have 14 kills against 2. They have a boss at the top lane. That's going to be the last keep. And at that point, the lanes are just continuously pushing. So right now, KG, they are in a bit of a dilemma. They are facing difficult decisions. KG, they have to put some thought into this, because at this point, there are major questions to be answered. Do you write GG in caps lock or not? And it's not an easy choice to make. I mean, there's always a little bit of condescension with it. If you are writing it not in caps, you really want to congratulate your opponent, but you don't want to be like too all out on this one. So, yeah. With those decisions to be made, Boluo is trying to limit the time that they have to think about this, because they're going through the top keep at this time. And there we have it as well. That one goes down. And obviously the decision has to also include the discussion of whether you want to include well played or not. Was it well played? Was it the draft? There's so much going into this, and in this case, the Jaws missing again, the boss up. There comes the stage dive, the stun, and Lotus is about to go down here. KG, they lose Illidan again, and this seems to be the end. The boss already on the core, the shield's fallen down to 50%, and that is gonna be it. Boluo takes a 2-0 victory in the series against KG.